Hi, it's Kenzie, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Kenzie, hello, good morning. I'm so excited to be talking to you and reuniting with you once again. I'm excited to talk about this new single. You really went deep in your feels, got more vulnerable, got more personal with it. And just the vocal tone, too, was just even more impactful. Congratulations with Anatomy. And I really want to dive in and talk about that creative process of like how this song really, the idea of it kind of kickstarted for you. Like, was it a melody, a lyric? Was it something that's just been on your mind, on the back of your mind, like just trying to be released and become a song?
Yeah, thank you. Well, actually, I started doing therapy like the second I turned 18, and I never realized I had these feelings until, you talk with a therapist about it. And she really wanted me to write a letter to my dad, and I didn't like that idea. I was just like, that seems very strange, and like he's never gonna see it. But I ended up just writing a song about it. And funny enough, I went in to cut like two different songs that I wasn't that excited for. And I was like, you know what, scratch that. Like, let's just write a song. And it honestly, we wrote it at like midnight, I think. It was really, really late and I was keeping everyone awake, but we were all just like, it kind of just felt like a communal therapy session. Like we were all just bawling our eyes out and I was crying so much. And it honestly felt like a really amazing release. And now that this song is out, I just feel like I've honestly, grown into my own, and kind of, it's nice to just let all of these feelings out and also have other people be able to relate to it and tell me that I'm also not alone. So I'm really excited.
It's really crazy that it all started with a therapy session. And I feel like this last like 2 months, the conversations that I've been having with other artists, a lot of their songs or the idea of a song basically started with a session that they had that they didn't really know something was bothering them or something was there.
Right.
So it's really cool that that really like basically opened the doors for this song. As far as like going through the motions, talking about it with your therapist and then changing it into a form of song, what was that process like for you? Did you feel like that just naturally like wrote itself as you were already, putting it to the paper?
Yeah, honestly, I really think this was like the fastest song I've ever wrote, just because it was coming straight from the heart. And um I kind of just I wrote this song with three people that I write with all the time. And so it was really comforting also because, I wouldn't be able to write this song with some random people that I just met in a writing session. And yeah, I really think the whole process was super easy, and it helped me a lot, honestly. So
Talk to me about that collaboration that you have with Lenny, Isa, and Bill, and just like you guys are comfortable together. So, how do you continue to be able to like open up even more and more every session that you guys have together, but yet still be able to kind of like step out of that comfort zone while still being comfortable with them? Like, I guess like that's kind of a contradiction, but what is that like for you?
yeah, well, so I met them on Zoom back in like days, and that was one of my like first writing sessions that I really enjoyed. And so it's so nice to be around these people that, I can write amazing music with, but I also am friends with them. So I it just feels so natural just to tell them everything about me. And every song that I write with them, I feel like is so vulnerable and so me. And I think that's why I just love them so much, because I really think they bring the best out of me.
With this song, you also basically changed up your tone, your vocal range. What was that like for you recording it, and how did you? I mean, do you feel like you struggled with it just because it was more of a gentle kind of tone? It obviously demands for more control. So, what was that vibe like for you in the recording booth?
It honestly was very easy for me just because it was so emotional. And honestly, the whole time recording it, I was tearing up the whole entire time because we recorded it right after we wrote it. So it was a very emotional night. Um But yeah, I usually, it's really funny when I record, I love to sit on the floor and I love to curl up in a ball. So this honestly, it helped kind of just being in like a dark room in a little corner, and it kind of just helped bring out all of the emotion.
How did that way of recording start for you? Is it, I mean, did you just find yourself doing it one time in the studio, or have you always done that from the beginning?
I never used to do that. It's kind of um yeah, I feel like it kind of just makes me feel more comfortable because recording, I don't think a lot of people know, but like it's a lot of pressure because there's so many people listening to you while you're trying to get the best take. And I just feel my most vulnerable when I'm on the floor and in a ball.
So when it comes to a song like this where it's like super deep, super personal, do you try and go for that original vocal take, or do you still try and do various various versions of it just to kind of see if there's like a different range or a different like kind of technique that you have?
Usually when I write or record a song, we will go back and recut the entire thing just to get the perfect take. But with this song, it's the original vocals from the original demo, which we talked about recutting it and everything, but also we all agreed that we wouldn't get it better than this because this is when I was, in that state of mind and I was going through those emotions while I was recording it and feeling that. And so I feel like that was the best take I was going to get, and I'm so happy that we went with it because it still like makes me tear up listening to it, which I think is really important because most of the time, artists listen to songs so many times that they just get tired of it, and this is not one of those for me.
This song really, it hits me every time I hear it, and just guess I meant less than I thought was like it punched me. Like that was so deep. Talk to me about that particular lyric, and is that something that again naturally just basically flowed out of you, or is that something you were trying to figure out, like how to make it basically punch us as hard as it
Yeah.
did?
Yeah. You know what? The chorus actually, I think, came first while we were writing it, and it honestly just flowed out so quickly. Just because that was my real feelings. Of course, my growing up without a father, but also like him kind of being in my life, but not really. It's and him having another family, it's kind of that thing where it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm your daughter, but it's like I don't mean as much to you than other people, and it's a really hard line. Yeah, it is definitely like a punch in the stomach for sure. But it's been really nice to even hear feedback from other people because a lot of the times people are like, I relate to this so much. This chorus is exactly how I feel, and they could be my age or even, I've talked to people that are older and are still experiencing this.
The fact that it's like so personal and in the moment. Well, first of all, is this the first time that you've written in the moment, or have you always done that with your music?
It honestly depends. I think when I really have something that I want to talk about, it's in the moment. But this
Mm.
was the first time where I canceled all my plans just to just to write
Wow.
this song.
Did you find yourself writing things down and then scratching them off because it was too personal, it was too deep, or did you just literally like everything that came out is on this song?
Honestly, I don't even think we were thinking if this was too harsh or not. I think I really just wanted to be my authentic self and share my story. And of course, there are some lines that are super harsh, and I'm sure it's definitely gonna hurt if he hears it. But it's just how I feel, and I honestly really want him to hear it. And I also am just so happy that everyone is giving such amazing feedback and loves it as well.
What would you say was like that biggest challenge that you had during either the writing or the recording process of this song?
I think keeping it together, honestly. I really do. I'm a very emotional person, and so when I start crying, I can't stop crying. So, but we made it very lighthearted. We ordered food and we kind of just made it like we were all hanging out, which I think really helped me.
I can't imagine this like being what it is today if you had like a new team, a
Yeah.
new co-writers, new producer like in the room with you? I feel like it would be just awkward before it even gets uncomfortable.
Totally. And I think especially with this song with when people talk to me about it, it is a very uncomfortable topic. And so I think a lot of people are kind of standoffish about it. And so I am so glad that I wrote this with them because I was just so straightforward and they were asking me so many questions and it was just a conversation, honestly.
I love that the sound design is not overbearing either. Like it's really focused on your vocals. It's focused on your rumble when you're like, in pain. Was this something that you came in with the idea of, or is this something that Lenny was like, this is what we got to do?
I think we were kind of experimenting what we wanted it to sound like. I mean, after we kind of did the demo, it was just on piano and I kind of wanted it to be more gut-wrenching, which like I'm sorry, but
Woo!
I know, but I really wanted to add some live strings. I feel like it made it so beautiful and Leroy Clampett did it and it was just so awesome that he got to be a part of the song and yeah, he's just so amazing and live strings always hit me. And so it was really nice to have that added into the song.
When you talked about the piano, do you play the piano when you're writing your music, or is that someone else that's playing it along with you?
It's usually Lenny just because she's way better at it than I am. So
But what is your process like when it's, a piano versus like an acoustic guitar versus not having any instrumentation at all? Like, does that really change the dynamic of your voice during the singing?
totally. I think also depending on the topic that I come in with, it definitely changes with whatever instrument I'm doing or whatever melody I'm doing. And we usually go for an acoustic guitar to start with. And so doing the piano for this song was like really special and I feel like it was something that I've never done before. So
Maybe that could be a new thing for like new music moving forward.
yeah, totally.
What kind of impact would you say that having the piano from the beginning really had on like just your mentality on vocal ranges and vocal tones?
Yeah, I think all of my music is really strong and it still is very personal, all of my music, but I feel like this kind of just added a different element to my voice where this was a very singy song and so this was very new and I really enjoyed it and so I feel like I've been doing a lot more songs like that as well because um I feel like a lot of people don't take me seriously just because of the background that I came from, and so I really hope this changes their mind.
I feel like that's rough too, though, because it's like, yeah, you have to work extra hard, even though you're already like creating incredible tracks.
Thank you.
But what keeps you motivated, like to continue to even do it, no matter how much more of a challenge you have to do or overcome?
I mean, it honestly is like therapy to me making music. Therapy is like a very hard thing to do for anyone and everyone should do it, but I genuinely think this is my form of therapy and it honestly is just my baby. Like music to me is just so important and I love that I get to just share my story with everyone because, people know me, but they don't know, everything about me. So I think I'm excited for everyone to know.
Now, the song alone is already super painful when you listen to it. And then you give us this music video where you're doing this interpretive dance. And, also your sister, Maddie, was part of the direction for it. Like, how much, how much more can we take? Like, you are really like putting it all out there. What was that experience like for you in the interpretive dance? And because I feel like that just even made it even like 10 times worse.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it honestly from the start when right after we wrote the song, we were talking about it has to be a dance piece. It has to be just because, I am talking about but I'm kind of healing my younger self and so it really was nice to incorporate dance into it because that is my old self. And it was so nice to have my sister a part of it as well because of course we shared the same experience and we both danced together when we were younger, and it was just a really full circle moment, and also just having her on set as emotional support was amazing. And I always feel so comfortable when she's around, and she's my biggest cheerleader, so
I feel like that emotional support wasn't there because I feel like both of you would be like bawling out during this entire process.
honestly, everyone was on set, everyone was.
I can't imagine being on set for this. Like I mean, even if I walked in complete stranger, like I feel like I'd be like in tears the entire time.
That's the plan, so I'm honestly glad. No offense.
So you give us this song after all the previous material that you've released this year and last year. So does this fit like in a body of work, or would you say like this is more like a one-off song where it's like you needed to get it out, you've done it, and now you can move on onto a next era or next chapter?
I think I'm definitely going to continue this era, I guess you could call it, but not everything's going to be sad and depressing and but I feel like I'm more comfortable in myself now, and with even writing and making music, and I just feel really good about myself, and so I've been continuing to write amazing songs, I guess I could say. I mean, so I definitely think this song has helped me kind of step into my own.
Now, lastly, to close us off with the process of this song, whether it's in the recording or the writing process, what did you learn about yourself that you didn't know already as an artist?
Wow, I think that it's okay to be vulnerable, even about, your family, or, a breakup or anything. I feel like it's more than okay to struggle and have issues, because I feel like, there's so many people that are my age that have issues that they go through, and but on social media you look picture perfect, and I love being imperfect. Everyone is imperfect, so I think that, yeah, I'm more okay with just, sharing my life, and it's not perfect, and that's okay.
Nice. Well, Kenzie, thank you so much for taking the
Thank
time to talk to
you.
me. Congrats with this song. It's incredible. It's heartbreaking, but it's incredible. And I look forward to reuniting with you again sometime soon.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.